What's up? It's your boy Mdeni, aka Too Stylish, aka Monde, back with another review. And today we're doing Shekinah's Trouble in Paradise. Yes, baby, we don't only do hip hop. It's called Music Makes Me for a reason, bruh. Shekinah is a recording South African R&B and soul singer. This is a second album under Sony Entertainment. She signed to Sony. Even her first album was released under Sony, Rose Gold, which she released in 2017. To huge success, man. That album is so successful. All of the singles on that album charted, and all of the singles on that album went gold. Some of the singles even went platinum, and some of the singles even went diamond. So that first album was hugely successful here in South Africa. I want to even say it got her a lot of recognition internationally, so that was dope, man. So she took, I guess, a 4-year break, man, to come back with this album. Without any further waste of time, man, let's get into Shekinah's Trouble in Paradise. The production on this album. Let's talk about the production on this album. I think the production on this album differs from the first album, Rose Gold. The first album was more R&B driven with electronic house undertones or electronic house melodies, but I think the core of the first album was really R&B driven, even like Afro pop type beats or Afro pop type tempos. With this album, though, the sound is more stripped back, more minimal, although there is like electro house and dubstep elements and even dreamscape type of sounds, grunge. But yeah, it's definitely minimal, definitely house driven, electro house driven, R&B driven, but it is definitely minimal in nature. I mean, the song Not Safe Intro, for example, is just like a piano melody. So the guys that are producing on here is Michael Murare, Shekinah is producing on here, Noble Production, and Hloma Soga as well. So yeah, dope stuff, guys. Dope project. Y'all guys put together a great sound on this album, man. Her vocal performance on this album is very different from the first album. You know, this album is called Trouble in Paradise. It's a heartbreak album. So her vocal performance leans into, you know, more stripped back vocals. There's not so much voice processing on her vocals on this album. The verse construction is very simple. Like on Rose Gold, she had a flow to her verses. She had a flow to her verses. There were a lot more syllables in what she was saying. There were a lot more words in her verses. On this album, even her verses are very stripped back. You know, even the choruses are very stripped back. You know, on Rose Gold, you'd get verses like na 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 na. She'd sing like that. But on this one, it's like, I'm miserable, I'm missing you. Da, 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 da. So simpler melodies. She just delivers her vocals in a simple way. I think just to communicate the rawness of the emotions she's feeling. The themes on this album, you know, I would say that there's the themes of loss. Loss is a very big thing on this album. The loss of a relationship, the loss of her identity, the loss of stability. You guys have to understand, Pella. She's going sharing, guys. Mugo was real, but I heard her. And Shekinah's going through it all, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's also, I would also say, there's a theme of feeling like you're suspended in the air or you like free falling. You know, she has a lyric in the Not Safe intro where she says, it feels like I'm in space, you know. So I guess that's what happens. I don't know if you guys have ever been through a breakup, but you feel like you've just been left hanging almost by this person, you know. Like if you were skydiving and this person was a skydiving instructor, they held your hand, and then at one point in the air, they just let go, and now you're free falling. Boom. And you have to gain control, you know. So I found that that's another theme, you know, is self-destruction almost. Reality versus fantasy is another theme on this album. You know, she's dealing with the reality of this loss. You know, it's almost like she's coming to her senses now, but she's also fantasizing about certain things. Like in Wedding Song, she's fantasizing about the future or getting married in another lifetime, you know. Reality, fantasy, and memory, I would say, play a big part in this album, because also on the song I Love It Here, she talks about coming home. You know, I guess as the album progresses, because she's lost herself and she's lost this relationship and she's lost her identity a bit, you know, she's trying to remember what home feels like, or she's trying to fantasize about what the future could be, you know. So those themes also came across. On her album cover, it's animated, right? In the animation, it's her holding up a picture of herself, and then there's all these things on fire, up in flames, you know. And I guess that speaks to the trouble in paradise. That speaks to reality being shaken, her reality being stripped away from her. Her reality of being in a relationship is now over, and now the reality of it being stripped of her is now, you know, prominent or prevalent. So she's unraveling, man. So, you know, it's unraveling. Unraveling is a very, very slow process. But what happens when you unravel is that you go through every last detail of where the relationship went wrong. You play it over and over in your head. Like, where did we go wrong? How can we fix it? How could I fix myself? Can't we just have makeup sex and just fix this thing? Or can't you just come over one more time? Or can't you just get me a gift to show me you love me? Do something to show me you love me, you know? On this album, it feels like the partner that Shekinah was dealing with was aloof and wasn't as giving of the love that she was giving. So, and maybe on her side, she was toxic. She was too clingy on this person or this lover or whatever. So yeah, that in her lyrics that plays. And let's just go through some of the songs and lyrics, man. You know, the album starts off with Tides, you know, which was a great song. I like that song a lot. I thought it was a very strong start, and I mean, this is one of the first singles that she released. There's even a video, very beautiful video on YouTube. Then it goes to Not Safe Intro, which is one of my favorite songs on the album. It's a piano-driven R&B song, just like stripped back piano. It's just her vocals, you know, and that self-destruction comes out, you know, on that particular song. Because it's not safe. She don't feel like she's safe. She don't feel safe with herself. She don't feel safe in her isolation or in her being alone. So that song is really good and powerful and emotional. I love it. Miserable as well is one of my favorite songs. You know, I think her approach on that song was very like something James Blake would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, very simple vocals, very simple beat, but very heavy on emotion, very heavy on the theme, you know what I'm saying? She has this bar on Miserable where she says, "You made me lose my temper. You blame me for your errors. You say your mistakes are better." You know, so this person, I guess, is very toxic. Questions was the one song that I heard that was like, you know, it didn't really grab me. It didn't really do much for me in terms of my listening experience or my enjoyment of the album. It's a good song, but like, yeah, I just don't like it. Pick Up with Una Rams is dope, man. I thought Una Rams' feature was perfect. His vocals matched so perfectly with hers. Diamonds Do interlude. I liked the sentiment on that because she gets petty. She's like, "Yo, you've done nothing to show me love. Like, get me diamonds. Just do something to show me that you love me. Do something, Munna. Get me diamonds, Munna. Throw me a bone, young diamonds. Come on." The Wedding Songs is like Questions to me. I'm not particularly gonna go back to that song. It's not a bad song. It's very good for the theme of the album, in that, you know, she's kind of now reality fantasy, right? She's fantasizing about a future where she'll get married one day. I Love It Here is a good one. It's memories of her coming home, coming back to Cape Town. I guess at this point, she's proper unraveling in the album, right? Like, she's totally destructive in the first few songs. And then from Fixate, she's kind of explaining how the relationship came to fall apart. She's explaining the toxic dynamics in the relationship, from fixate, questions, fall apart, pick up, and insecure. And Diamonds Do, I guess those are the songs where the relationship is just unraveling and she's going over all these details. Then I Love It here, I guess she's missing identity. She misses feeling like herself. So I guess she has to imagine herself at home and those memories of what it felt like to be a kid, because she's lost so much of her identity. You know, that's how I interpreted it anyway. I thought that was interesting that she added I Love It here just before the last song, you know, which the last song is very important to the entire album, to the entire flow and theme of the album. Beautiful. The last song's called Beautiful, and it's one of my favorite songs. You know, the beats is just amazing. That minimal Afro house sound, man, and her vocals. Oh, Shekinah, Danam, Gupopo, yo. She even says on the song, like, you never told me I'm beautiful. And again, I interpreted that in two ways. I interpreted it as her talking to herself, saying, yo, I can't believe that in this relationship you're so focused on this person, you never told yourself you're beautiful. And then I interpreted as her saying it to the partner, like to say, yo, you never told me I'm beautiful. You know, and I like the song because this is the unraveling process kind of reaching its climax. And the climax is her discovering that she's actually beautiful. It's the rediscovery of self-identity, which I thought was super dope, man. Final rating on this album. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first 5 out of 5. Lovely stuff, Shekinah, man. This is first 5 out of 5. It's not like perfect, but for me, it's emotional. The album's a journey. She grew as an artist. Her writing style grew. The beats she's choosing, she's brave. As much as it's not too different from Rose Gold, it did, you know, open new avenues for her to explore sonically, man. And it's just really great heartbreak music, bro. Shout out to you, Shekinah. This album gets a 5 out of 5 from me. Solid stuff, man. So let me know what you thought of this album. Let me know your comments. Like this video. Comment on this video. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you at the top. Shapfere.